Hello everyone, welcome to the Norfolk Broads, or rather misty, moody Norfolk Broads this morning. I'm at one of my favourite places, which is just a short drive from my house. This is the I'm not Scottish, but there you go, I've said it now. This is the small nature reserve at Ormesby Little Broad, which is part of the Trinity Broads network, which is the area of the Broads, which is, as I said, closer to my home. Beautiful morning, beautiful morning. I'm not sure how long the mist is going to last. It's said it's probably going to be about an hour, 2 hours before it clears, but nice to be out. Pretty chilly morning, nice subdued light. Was hoping there'd be a bit more mist fog in the woods. It's not particularly heavy, but the colours are really nice punchy greens, and the remnants of the autumn leaves look rather nice, so there'll be some nice stuff to take in the woodlands. But for the moment, for the start of the morning, I've been shooting the reeds here, the trees, very sort of monochromatic look. Also sort of taking some longer exposures of the reeds moving against the Broad in the background. Probably turn them quite blue with a white balance. But aside from that, yeah, I'm just really getting started. I haven't done loads before I've spoken to you, so let's just see where the rest of the morning takes us. Well, as you can see, the light is pretty monochromatic. I've got to be honest, I'm not particularly fond of the initial images I took here. My intention was to make the white balance a little more bluer, but I think in a way it's turned the reeds a little bit red, which actually I don't really mind, but it's got a little bit of a false look to it. So I think really these shots are just me getting started for the morning, and the wider shots with with the trees sort of pushed back with a wide angle type vista hasn't really worked for me. The more abstract shots of the reeds moving, yes, I rather like, and I am a sucker for blues. I love blue colour, and I love tones like turquoise, but still for me there's something wrong about that redness of the reeds against the blue here. So bit of a work in progress, that one. Maybe there's a way I can have a little tweak with the white balance and make those a little bit more pleasing to my eye, but at the moment they just don't work for me. The final 3 images I'm just going to put up from this little section I'm rather pleased with. Again, idea more than look. Again, I hope I can go into white balance and have a little look, but I quite like these. From, you've got a wider vista to start with, then you move down to slightly zoomed in, and then a little bit more zoomed in, completely losing the sky and just using the trees in the background as a bit of a graphic frame. I rather like these images, but again, they're images that got me started for the day, but I don't think anything will be kept from these. It's just, I just put them up because it's nice for me to show you how a day develops, or how a shoot develops, and my initial sort of ideas, but not sure if these are too successful. Oh, has anyone got a boat I can borrow? It would have been great to skirt around the edge of the Broad here, shooting the wonderful trees and colours. Absolutely gorgeous. Wasn't to be, obviously. There's nothing I can do about it. So there I was on the viewing platform, plonked the old 135 on the D850, and did my best to get into the trees as close as possible. What I did do, I switched to DX mode on the camera, and it's perfect. We're sport with sensor size nowadays. It's not a problem to do that little crop in the DX mode and zoom into the trees a little bit. And for me, these will work quite nicely. At the moment, very, very blue light, and I think that's quite befitting of the subject. Like, I hope you agree, the shapes are absolutely gorgeous, and I quite enjoy taking these 2 or 3 images. They're rather nice, rather pleased with them. Yeah, good stuff. So I've done my stuff beside the Broad, very nice, very graphic, monochromatic feel, very nice. I'm now moving into the woodland, and yes, looking good. The colours are beautiful. Mist has lifted a bit, so it's not, not what I hoped for. I'd hoped we'd have the mist for another hour or so, and I'll be able to get some nice spooky woodland stuff, but it's not to be. But the colours are wonderful. I've just taken a nice pano here, which again, something I'd love to replicate when there's a little bit of a heavy fog mist. That would look really good. But what has got me at the moment is there's a lovely area of silver birch and a tree with just actually a lovely smattering of green and yellow leaves left. And what I've been shooting at 1:1 square format, trying to avoid including some of the sky because it's quite bright and it's going to be quite distracting if it's in an image. And it's very nice, beautiful, soft, subtle stuff. Nothing incredible, just beautiful light. So I'm enjoying taking that one. So I'll put that one up in a tick. I'll also put up the panos that I took over there, and hopefully you can see the potential for a more misty day. And I'm going to get into the woodland and see what else there is to photograph. Beautiful, lovely morning. The following images are just a few images that I shot when I walked into the woodland after my last spoken piece to you. I must admit I'm rather fond of this one, sort of the panoramic version of the 1:1 format image I put up earlier. I rather like this. I think that tree is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm rather pleased with this images. The following images, yeah, they're okay. It's just me getting started, having a look, trying to get my eye in, but I really didn't find anything particularly successful. Probably the reason why was that the light was lifting, and what I wanted to do was get myself back out to the viewing platform and shoot across the Broad using the 135. So that's what I did. And I think that was a good decision. There's a nice bit of subtle light coming through, and it really punches out the beautiful colours on the trees at the edge of the Broad, and also punches out the beautiful colours of the reeds. And as you can see from some of these trees, full of moss, wonderful shades of green, orange, and that beautiful red that you get at this sort of time of year, absolutely gorgeous. So I quite enjoy taking these images and rather pleased with them. Again, due to the nature of you know, my sensor and that, I've had to crop them. I don't really want to include any sky anyway, so you know, they work nicely as abstracts, or sort of kind of abstracts, I suppose. I suppose the main question is, do I prefer this warm light or do I prefer the cold light? I don't know, but I'll leave you to think which one I prefer best. And if you do feel inclined to comment, you let me know which ones you think, blue or warm. So that was a lovely little brief visit back to the viewing platform, and then I just started walking back down the path. The light now was a little bit more intense, but it was absolutely lovely, really bringing out the best of the subtle colours in the woodland and of the lovely birch trees. And there are not hundreds and hundreds of birch trees here, but there is enough, and they are beautiful examples. So I spent the next half hour or so concentrating on these, and I'm really pleased with some of these images. The first set of images here, I've been shooting at my favourite thing at the moment, which is shooting at f1.8, and I've just been concentrating on a single area of the trunk, letting the other birches in front or behind slightly fall out of focus. Rather pleased with these, quite a nice start. And then I moved on to a pano of, again, just the birches taking some nice light with some lovely foliage around them. Not particularly wonderful, this image, but just a lovely one to shoot, rather like the colours. And then this one is a nice sort of, just a beautiful little bit of light coming through, really. I'm not sure whether I process this image to my liking yet. I think there's something else I can do with this. I'm not a huge fan, as I've mentioned before, of that romantic style of processing, but I think in this case I may have to slightly up the romantic level to notch 9 or 10, but we'll see. But that's a nice image, quite pleased with this one. One of my favourites from this little section of shooting was when I just came off the path for a couple of minutes to shoot some birches that I shoot more or less every time I visit here. Today they were taking absolutely gorgeous light, and I'm really pleased with the pano image especially. I think those are a beautiful set of trees. Now back to the path and a little way down, and this beautiful tree. Now I can't identify it, but it's such an absolutely wonderful shade and such a contrast amongst the birches that I couldn't resist taking an image here. I thought it was taking the light really nicely, and I thought that was a nice sort of play against the birches. So yes, nice image, very pleased with that. Take a breath, John. Okay, so moving on to my final images of this section, and I am very happy with these. The first one is nice as sort of a tester, and I thought, yeah, there's something else I can do here. So what I did was I took a pano, and I think this is probably my favourite image of the morning. I think this has worked really nicely. The light is beautiful. It's almost got a slight sort of red feel to it, but I'm really happy with how this has come out. So yeah, that's a good little section of shooting there, and probably walked about 50 yards, so really pleased with these. Wow, what a gorgeous morning. Beautiful bit of mist, beautiful bit of fog, call it what you will, and now there's some lovely light coming into the woodland. I've just been exploring the small area of woodland just on the edge of the Broad, and that has kept me occupied for about an hour, and I've obviously got lost in my photography. I haven't filmed any bits to you, but that's how it goes with me. I just get lost in it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So what I'll do, I'll sign off here, guys, and do a little bit more photography before that need for the giant coffee kicks in. A little bit more woodland photography on the walk back down the path, but it's been lovely, and I hope you enjoyed the footage I've shot, the images I've shot, and some of my warbling on. But a beautiful morning, absolutely lovely. Hope you've enjoyed it. What more can I say? Hope to see you again soon, and thanks for watching. Look after yourselves, take care. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful, I really should say beautiful.